extensions. And you all are familiar with Windows Phone. We aggregate together things like your text messages, Facebook posts, so that you have one quick place to glance at and connect with all the things that the people you care about are doing. So now, the top of my Start experience here really is dedicated to those humans in my life that I want to be in touch with, and I feel pretty good about that. So the next thing I'm going to do is focus on apps. As Stephen mentioned earlier, the Windows Phone app catalog has been growing really quickly. We're well over 100,000 apps. And as many of you probably are aware, a lot of the announcements that we made in June relate to our core technology. The Windows Phone 8 technology shares a common core code base with Windows 8. And one of the benefits of that technology change is that our app platform becomes much easier as an ecosystem for developers to target a really wide range of devices. So let me just take some apps. The first thing I'm actually going to do is grab a couple apps here that already exist in Windows Phone 7, because Windows Phone 8, of course, runs the Windows Phone 7 apps as well. So I'll grab Flickster there. I'm going to grab the Weather channel here and pin these to start. And you'll notice that right here on Windows Phone 8, even though I'm running on a brand new high-resolution screen, these live tiles scale up. They look terrific. These apps were unchanged, and they still work on Windows Phone 8. So all that benefit is still available to users. And what I'm going to do here is I'll grab these and scooch them up. We'll get them up here so they're a little bit better in view. And then the last thing I'm going to do with apps is jump back over here and grab a CNN tile. One of the things that's cool about this, CNN has built an app, and what they're going to do as well for Windows Phone 8 is support some of the brand new platform extensions that are available as part of Windows Phone 8. So here I can take this CNN tile, for example, and turn it into the new extra large size, which is incredibly handy for me as a guy who really wants to follow the news and see what the top headlines are, glanceably anytime I'm using my phone jumping to the Start experience. So now you can see I've got at the top of my phone the people that I care about most. Right below it, I've got some live tiles from the apps and third-party experiences that I care about most. And that's an example of how the platform, these live tiles, of course, work not just on my Windows Phone 8 device, but on my Windows PC as well. The last thing that I want to do in terms of customizing my Start experience and recapping some of what we talked about in June is bring the web into this story as well. So I'm going to go to IE, and I'm coming up on a blank page right here. But I want to do a quick thing, because we've mentioned that we intend for Windows Phone 8 to be really personal. And there's another nice little feature that we've done here to make IE itself also more personal. So you see that the button right up there next to the edit control that you can press to refresh. While that is nice, it's not what I personally would rather see every day when I use IE. So I'm going to go into settings here, and I have a few choices here. I can change that to a favorites button or change it to a tabs button. I'll choose tabs and go back, and now I've got a tabs button right there, super handy. I can touch that with one press, and now I can see all the open tabs that I have in IE10. So I'm going to choose Pulse here. I'm sure you all are familiar with Pulse. Pulse is a news aggregator, and what's interesting about this example is this is Pulse's new HTML5 website. And of course, in IE10, it works with touch. This is full hardware-accelerated HTML5, and the interesting thing here is that the markup for this website is exactly the same between the phone and my Windows 8 slate or laptop or desktop. The web authoring that's happened here using HTML5 standard support does rescaling of the layout of the page depending on the screen size. So I get a very consistent experience across this wide range of devices, enabling the site authors to target a huge number of people with a great, compelling experience. So rather than looking at food news, I'm going to use the Pulse HTML navigation here to choose the business news section. And you can see here, it's a nice looking layout, fits here. What I'm going to do is actually pin that to my Start experience as well. So I'll pull up the app bar menu, choose Pin to Start, and now I've got an excellent HTML5 website right there as part of my customized Start experience. So I feel pretty good now. I've got the people that I care about most, the apps, both some old apps and some new apps, and a website all building up this new, highly personalized experience for me. And what I want to do is something that's new, which we haven't announced yet. I want to share that with a bunch of my friends. So I'm going to use one of the new features in Windows Phone 8, and I'm going to press the power and home button here. We'll just press there. You heard that sound, you saw that flash, and up on top it says, saving to screenshots. So Windows Phone 8 now supports screenshots. I know some of you bloggers out there have been waiting, wondering when this feature will be available. Well, here it is. And just to show you how the task completes, I'll go into my Photos hub, where I'm going to spend some time because I want to really get into some of the new photography things that we've done in Windows Phone 8. I'll go into my Albums view, and you'll see there's my camera roll, my saved pictures. I've got all my SkyDrive and Facebook albums in here, so they're super easy to get to. And here is my screenshot list. I've got a bunch of screenshots. Here's the one I just took. And now for me, sort of a historic moment, I'll go into Share. Lots of ways I can share. I can share via tap and send with NFC. I could share via Facebook, OneNote. What I'm going to do is take this and post to Twitter. First ever WP8 public screenshot. Whoops. There we go, and we'll post that to Twitter. Twitter is confirming that it should share, it should use the photo that's stored on SkyDrive, so I'm going to say OK. That photo is now published to SkyDrive. I've now tweeted out to all my followers on Twitter my own personalized start experience. And one of the things that we tried to capture here was a number of these customized start experiences to give you a sense for how widely Windows Phone can cover the interests and desires of people who are obviously all very different. So there's my customized start screen. Here's another example we made that's a lot more sort of simple and direct, reminiscent of the Windows Phone 7 visual look and feel with a focus on the medium-sized tiles. Here's another example focused on someone who's really into sports. You can see this person's got the Seattle Sounders right up front, lots of small tiles. Here's an example focused a little bit more on media and entertainment. And I'll just pan through these so you can see how color, tile size, layout, all flexibly let people create an experience that is the most unique for them and makes the smartphone fast and easy to use. So that's our screenshot feature and the personalization that's possible with Windows Phone 8's new Start experience. Now I'm going to spend the rest of my time focused on photography. And there are a number of new things that we've done, and I'm going to jump in by engaging the camera experience. So I've got my Lumia920 here. I pull it out of my pocket. I'm going to press and hold the camera button, as you're all familiar with, and the Windows Phone camera is displayed. There we go. That's our basic camera. And one of the things, for those of you who are familiar with Windows Phone, you might notice at the right our zoom bar is gone. That's because we now support pinch zoom in the camera. So that's a nice, intuitive, quick and easy thing for people to do. And that's given us some space over here to do things like have a super fast and easy control for the flash. But what I really want to spend time on is this button at the bottom. That's called the Lenses button. Imagine I pressed my camera button, and now I want to engage some other software to do lots of innovative things at the moment I take a photo. Now let me explain this concept of lenses. What you see here is a number of tiles on the screen, each of which is an application. We call these lens applications, and they integrate deeply into the built-in camera experience at the moment you take a photo or later on at the time that you're viewing a photo. At upper left, the Bing Vision lens is built into Windows Phone, so you can pull your camera, your phone out of your pocket, press the shutter button, and immediately recognize an object like a book or a DVD. These other examples are third-party lenses, some of which we, Microsoft, have written as samples. Obviously, the CNN iReport lens will be part of the CNN app that will ship later this year. So there's a social network activity that's available at the moment you take a photo. Now, let me give you an example of how this actually works. I'm going to choose the bottom, on the bottom there, the lens called FX Suite. And when I choose the lens, what you'll see is the application runs and takes over the viewfinder of the camera. Now, what's interesting about this FX Suite lens is this was actually written by 2 summer interns at Microsoft in about a 2-week period. period. So they could get up to speed really quickly with the platform and build something that's kind of cool. So you can see here, it's taken the viewfinder and it's showing me 4 different